this is one video you don't want to miss, because you're going to be learning a lot from this. You're going to be learning one of the easiest way on how you can just go about cutting your trouser if you're starting as a beginner. And also, if you don't want to go through the pattern process, then you need to try this method. I know you've seen many tutorials on how to cut a trouser and achieve a short. I'm going to be showing you a different method on how to go about it. And this method is very simple and easy to understand. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for stopping by again. And also, if this is your first time of seeing my video, you're welcome to this page. I share tutorials on how to cut and sew. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video to your families, to your friends. Also, turn on your post notifications to be notified anytime I upload new tutorials. Hello everyone, I'm going to be showing you how you can draft out a basic trouser using your freehand method. Now, you can use the same method to draft it out if you're cutting out a long trouser or if you're cutting out a short trouser. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm going to be cutting out a short trouser. You're going to be folding your fabric into two and go ahead to further fold it into four like this, leaving extra 3 or 4 inches allowance to extend your back crotch. So how would you get your measurement? First of all, if you get your front measurement like this, you'll be able to know how you're going to extend your back length measurement. Now, to get your front length measurement, all you need to do is to divide your hip measurement by 4, add 1 inch sewing allowance to it, and also add your front crotch extension to it. The same crotch extension you're using for the front is the same thing you can also use for the back if you want, but then you can also use a different one for the back. For me, I'm using a different one for the front, and I'm also going to be using a different one for the back. So to get my front crotch length extension, what I'm going to be doing is to divide my hip measurements divided by 20. It's going to be giving me 2.05. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using to extend my crotch length to give me that curve. Okay, so to get this front measurement, like I said earlier, what you're going to do is to divide your hip measurement divided by 4. Okay, hip measurement divided by 4. Whatever you have, you're going to, mine is 10.25 plus 1 inch sewing allowance plus 2.05. Okay, so this is the measurement I'm going to be cutting out. So when I plus everything together, it's going to be giving me 13.3. Okay, so you're going to be adding like extra ease to it. So this is mine. So I cut mine on 13.5. Okay, so by the time you've gotten here, the next thing you want to do is just to go ahead to add like extra 4 inches, which absolutely, when you are extending your crotch length for the back, you're not going to exhaust it, no matter how big your hip measurement is. Okay, so from my starting point line here, I'm going to be coming down by 1.5 inches. Then I'll go ahead to connect it with a strip. Also, don't forget to indicate the wrong side of your fabric. So this 1.5 inches I came down with is where I'm going to be extending the back parts. Remember, our butt, the back is higher while the front is flat. So I'm going to be using it to extend the back measurement. Okay, what I want to do is to minus 1.5 inches for my waistband. I'm going to be minusing 1.5 inches for my waistband. And the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and take my hip measurement, which is 9. Still placing my tape on minus 1.5 inches for my waistband. I'm going to take my crotch length extension, which is going to be falling on 11. Okay, so still placing my tape on 1.5, I'm going to go ahead to take my full length measurement. Okay, I'm working with 18 inches. I'm going to be adding 1 inch for sewing allowance. I'm going to be using 18 inches for my full length, and then I'll be adding 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so this is my hip line, and this is the C is for crotch, while here is for my waistline. So now quickly, the next thing I want to do is on my hip line, I'll go ahead to divide my hip measurements by 4. I'm going to be adding 1 inch sewing allowance to it. So the same thing I have here, I'm going to mark it on the crotch line and also on the waistline. Okay, so after I've gotten that, on my crotch line here, I'm going to be imputing my crotch extension, and now to do that, I already showed us on the paper, you're going to be dividing your hip measurement by 20, and I'm going to be imputing whatever I got there, which is like 2.0. Now on the hip line, I'll go out by 0.25 and mark. So from here, I'm going to make sure it's connecting to this point, and I'll blend it out into this line. On the waistline, if we want to add zip to it, we'll go ahead to take our accurate waistline measurement. But since I'm going to be adding elastic to this, we don't need the waistline measurement. All I'm going to do is from this end here, I'll be going inward with half an inch. Just 0.5 is okay. You can even decide not to even go in by anything and it's still going to be fine. Now from that point, I'll connect it all the way to the hip line. Still on the waistline here, I'll be coming down by 0.5 and I'll connect it to this apex point. This is to give the front waistline a little bit of slant. So now from this point to this point, I'm going to be dividing whatever I have there by 2 to get the midpoint. Okay, so whatever I have here, I'm going to be marking the same thing on this point here. So now I'll divide my round thigh measurement by 2 and I'll be adding my sewing allowance to it. Round thigh measurement, wherever your trouser length is stopping, you're going to measure round there and add your sewing allowance to it. Okay, when you do that, you're going to divide it by 4 and mark. Okay, so dividing mine by 4, it gave me 11.5. So I'll further divide 11.5 this way, get the midpoint and mark it like so. To connect this line and this line together. Now basically we're done with the front part. The next thing we want to do is to extend the crotch for the back part. Now like I said, you can use the same measurement you have for the front for the back, or you can use a different measurements for the back and crotch measurements for the back. Okay, and to get that, now all you need to do is just to divide your hip measurements by 16, and then whatever you have, you're going to be marking it. So mine is 2.56 thereabouts. Okay, so if yours is 3 inches, you mark it. If yours is 2.5, you're going to mark it. This is for the back. This is for the back crotch. So I'll go ahead to extend mine. 2.5, 2.56. After marking it, I'll be coming down by 0.25. Now from here, you connect it to meet this point here, to meet the waistline for the front. If you're not okay with this, you can still go ahead to make sure you create a better curve, just the way I am doing, like so. Okay, so I'm going to be using the second line. Now the next thing you want to do is you're going to be adding extra 1.5 inches on this part, or you're going to be adding extra 1 inch, depending on what you want. So I'll be using 1.5 and I'll mark it this way, connect it to this point. Now this is our actual waistline. Now from this actual waistline, I'll be extending the back with 1 inch. I'll be extending the back with 1 inch and I'll connect it to this point. This is for the back and this is for the front. The first thing we're going to be cutting out is the back part before we go ahead to cut out the front part. Watch closely and see the way I am cutting it. I'll be notching the hip line. So I'll be cutting this back. I'll be cutting from this part here. Then I'll cut so the next thing I want to do is to cut out the front part, which is this. I'm going to be raising it like so, and then I'll cut out the front. So at this point, I forgot to cut out that ½ inch we came down for the front part, which I later did while I was sewing. So this is the front part and this is the back part. Now there are 2 ways on how you can join your trouser. Firstly, you can go ahead to join the 2 front sides together like so separately, and also join the back part separately, or you can, this is one of the back and this is one of the back. Okay, this is the right side and also this is the right side. Okay, go ahead to make sure right side are facing each other. Okay, so this is the right side for the front. You go ahead to place it like so, and also place the other one like this. first thing you want to do is to go ahead to join it with half an inch on the hip part. Half an inch is okay, it's a very free trouser, so you join it with half an inch on the hip part and also join it to half an inch on this other side. Just in case you don't understand what I am saying, just go ahead to watch what I am doing, you definitely understand. So I'm done joining these two sides, the hip part, this is it, and I'm also done joining this other side, and this is it. Now the next thing you want to do is, I'll be explaining with one part. Bring these two sides together, go ahead to join it with half an inch. Then I'll be doing the same thing on this other part. I'll pick the front part and make sure it's sitting the same thing with the back. Stitch it like this with half an inch. Hey everyone, I'm done with the stitching of each part of this trouser. Okay, each part of this short, this is actually a short. The next thing I want to do is to join it on the crotch lines. You pick one of this and turn it over to the right side. To do is you're going to pick it and place it inside one of this. Okay, so it means right side of this is going to be facing the right side of this, like so. Okay, so you go ahead and place it inside this. Just make sure the crotch points are matching, then go ahead to hold it down with your pin. So by the time you hold it down like so, you find out that this is the front part, it's aligning together, and also this other part too is matching with this other part. Okay, so if anyone is short or is not sitting together, meaning you didn't fix it properly. Okay, next thing I'll do is to go to my sewing machine and stitch it around like so with half an inch. Okay, I'm done stitching it, and if you are still following me to this point, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share this video to your friends, family, to sewing crews, and that will be much appreciated. Okay, so basically this is the front part and this is the back part. Okay, so if there's one thing I noticed that I did not trim out the front part. I noticed I didn't trim it out, okay, so while I was cutting. Okay, so if you check the video, you notice that I came down by half an inch and I forgot to trim it out when I was cutting. So I'm going to be doing that right now. So that was an error. I totally forgot to cut it out when I was cutting. The next thing you want to do is you got to take it to your sewing machine and hem it with 1 inch. Remember, 1 inch was the sewing allowance we added. Now you can decide to weave it and just hem it once. So okay, so for the waistband, I'm going to be measuring whatever I have here. I'm going to measure from one end. On fold, this is what I'm going to be cutting for my waistband. Okay, so remember I took out 1.5 inches for my band, so I'm going to be measuring 3 inches. Okay, so when I'm cutting, I'm not going to be cutting it on the exact line. I'll be going down a little bit for sewing allowance. Now you go ahead and just take it to your sewing machine and stitch it around. Okay, so if you also want it to be easier for you, what you want to do is, this is the front and this is the back part. You just go ahead to open up this back part, that's on the crotch line. On the crotch line, you open up the back part a bit, just open it up a bit, then you're going to stitch it from one end, you're going to stitch it to the other end. I'll show you. Okay, so after opening it up and joining it, it's much easier for you to just go ahead and just stitch it back this way. Go ahead and hem it like so. Okay, fold it and top stitch it like so. So after I'm done stitching it, I'm going to be leaving some opening at the back part where I'm going to be inserting my elastic. Okay, so to get your elastic waistband, to know the actual elastic you're going to cut, so if your round waist measurement is 32, you're going to be minusing 5 inches for it. Okay, so my round waist is 32 inches, so I minus 5 inches from it, which gave me this. Okay, So if your round waist measurement is 40, you're going to be minusing 5 inches or 6 inches for it. Okay, so depending on how stretchy the elastic is, if it's very stretchy, you can even minus like 6 to 7 inches. Okay, so by the time I attach it, this is what I'm going to get after I am done. So yeah, I've gone ahead to hem the lower part of this short, and I'm also done with inserting the elastic. I ironed it out, and this is the outcome. Honestly, this is very beautiful. This is nice. Okay, so you can give it a try. I'm going to see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye for now.